So those data will be utilized in AI models to predict few. We have identified 5 situations where this is applicable, and then from the beginning, from initial stages, how to predict whether they are especially pre-eclampsia, the postnatal depression, then low birth weight, preterm delivery. Uh, the problem we have now is, I mean, we have come to a better stage on par with developed countries with regard to our maternal and infant mortality indices. But to go beyond this, we need more granular data, micro level data, and there are disparities in several domains. So for that, we need more robust data, rich data. That's why we are contemplating on this sort of a study.
As you said, maternal mortality rate and the infant mortality rate are very comparably quite good, right? I mean, no. So why Colombo and why not because there are regional variations in Sri Lanka itself,
Yeah.
right? Okay, great states and all, I think there are some regional variations. So why not do an AI related study in those areas where the numbers may be, where the women may be more vulnerable?
You're quite correct. But the only thing is, this should be the pilot project. After that, we are going to scale it up to the entire country. So that's the plan. So we want to know how it goes, which sort of difficulties we would encounter, what would be the success and all. Then the next step would be the our expanding this to the entire country, because we want to pilot it first.
When you say AI, unlike other people in the room, I'm a bit of a dinosaur, right? So, can you tell us just one example of how AI is going to be used with these mothers? Are you going to feed the data about each mother to an application and then predict an outcome? Is that what is happening, or what is the other creativity?
You can answer. Oh, yeah, yeah, come.
So what Dr. Kapila's project is that exactly what you mentioned, but I'm just trying to simplify it a little bit further. So artificial intelligence is using the same approaches that a human intelligence would use. So, for example, Dr. Kapila, the aim is that when the women are coming during antenatal period, for the healthcare provider, it should be possible to see if this woman during the pregnancy or post pregnancy will develop any those adverse outcomes. And if we know that these women are at a high risk of being in those categories, then we will be better prepared to intervene so that we can prevent them to get into those states. Is it?
Yes. So it's like an application.
Yes.
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 Data will be fed into an application.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
But
and then like the outcome would be, say, if a woman comes with slightly high blood pressure, then you would know that she may develop, something like that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is India not involved in this?
I think you know the answer. So.
Sure. So I'm from India, but I'm speaking on behalf of IDRC. Right. Okay. The short answer is that so whenever we identify a project, so don't think of it as only these 4 countries, right? So there are countries, like I mentioned, in Latin America. There are countries in Middle East. There are countries in Africa, right? So obviously, it means that for example, I can also say, why not Bhutan?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So it just means that So when we were structuring the program, so we were essentially we are saying that okay, we have, let's say, 100 rupees. How can we best use this 100 rupees? So that is one approach, right? The slightly longer approach is, so it was a competitive call. So please do not think that I picked up the phone and called up Khan Sahab and said, Khan Sahab, so here is this money. Do you want to do a project? And then Khan Sahab picked up his phone and called up Dr. Kapila and said, Dr. Kapila, you want to do this project? It's not like it was an extremely competitive call, and these are the winners, and you have to identify. So Dr. Kapila is a winner of a global call. Okay, at a slightly even longer answer would be, India is not included now, but that does not mean that India might not be included tomorrow, right? So in fact, you yourself, in fact, answered this question in a way that why are you doing in Colombo? Why not go to a place, let's say the east, or where the conditions are much worse, where the statistics are much worse, right? So why not actually go there? Simply because you because ultimately whatever, so from the perspective of IDRC, we are trying to build up an operational model, right? So this operational model, what is the best way of working together with medical doctors, with computer scientists, with social scientists, with artists, that can actually cause the maximum benefit, maximum in a scalable way, which can be rolled out for by every developing country government, or why just developing country, by every government, right? So you mentioned that Sri Lanka is very odd. The statistics in some, by some measure, in some developed countries are actually worse than the statistics in Sri Lanka, right? So maybe Sri Lanka can not only learn, but Sri Lanka can also teach. So that is the slightly longer term approach. So please try to understand that what we are trying to do is not, we are not working at the project level. We are saying that how can we have better maternal child sexual outcomes for adolescents, 5 years, 10 years, maybe even 50 years down the line. But how can we have very healthy people all over the world, right? So, but we must start somewhere, and this is where we start. But I want to actually also emphasize, for example, I mean, I can talk about every particular project, the strengths, and every particular country why. For example, Sri Lanka, University of Colombo is a very good university. But so for the last few days, actually, I've been roaming around from university to university. A couple of days ago, I was at the University of Moratuwa. I met with the Open University people. So SLI, the Sri Lankan Association of Artificial Intelligence. So I met with them. I went to Kandy, the University of Peradeniya. University of Peradeniya, actually, I don't know if you know about this, but I strongly suggest that you reach out to Dr. Janaka Ekanaike. So because they were also a global winner for a COVID AI for COVID project, and they did extraordinarily good work. Extraordinarily, in fact, by whatever measure you look at it. So just this morning I learned that there are 4 scientists in this room has actually won the President's Award this year for research, and so if kind of as an officer who is in charge of this project, it made me so happy that here in this country you have this one project is generating 4 presidents award. It's causing so much impact in that sense. And when I go and when I went and talked to that thing, it has acquired a life of its own, right? And this is now actually that people who are not involved in the project now, undergraduate students, young assistant professors, they actually, even working for free, they're volunteering their time to work on the data set that they're using, the algorithms they are. So it's like I'm seeing the development of a proto AI center in Preparedania. And this is what we want for this project, for this program as a whole. We want this to 3 years, at the end of 3 years. So we want this to have a life of its own. Okay, and hopefully India will be sharing the benefits of that life as well.
So the money for the project, is it a grant? Is it a loan? Who's spending the money? Because Sri Lanka is undergoing economic crisis at the moment.
It is IDRC always gives grants.
Oh, good.
So unlike other organizations which I will not mention, we do not give lunch. So and I hope Dr. Khan and Deepak ji will speak for the kind of hands-off approach, the trust that we have in whoever is using the grants. So in a way that we expect. So it's a very hard process for actually getting into the IDRC Canada system. So, but once you're in the system, we trust you 100%. So we are not going to be asking you for, report every week, or I'm going to call you up at 3 in the morning and say that where's the data I asked for? Nothing like that. So we expect, and in our experience, what we have found, that once you trust, you get the best possible outcome. You get the best possible work. So again, yes, it's a no strings attached money. The only string, if you can call it that, is that please do good work. Please do good work, the work that can benefit the maximum for all the countries involved and hopefully beyond.
මොනවද ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන්.